everybody, and welcome back to Fantasy Football. It's been a long football week. For game week 34, there was a lot of games, as you can see. 69 points, which I'm actually really disappointed with. The average was 55, but just some bizarre results and some, just unexpected bad performances, I guess, that kind of cost me in the end. And because we spent quite a few points, like we spent about 18 points, so in reality we only got about 50, so sorry, made 3 transfers, we lost 8 points, so we got 61, so we were still a little bit above, but you know, it's not really great. I don't think that's quite updated yet, so maybe we'll go up a little bit soon, but it wasn't the best week, mostly because there were some bizarre results. I guess mostly going on the Saturday and Sunday, really, particularly the Sundays. It was a bizarre Sunday. So, God, where to start, right? I mean, we'll just do it well, let's look at the players. So De Gea played 2 games and got 1 clean sheet in it. How he didn't get a clean sheet against West Brom, I'm just at a loss, but we'll get into that. Man City, they did win. They won 3-1 though, so they conceded. So Otamendi and Walker didn't get many points. Otamendi barely even played. I think he came on as a sub, so he only got the 1. Lowton for Burnley. I think Burnley won both their games, but they won. No, sorry, they lost to Chelsea 2-1 and they beat Leicester 2-1. So they conceded in both games. So he only got 3 points. Lingard did okay in his second game, set up an assist, I think it was, and a clean sheet, so he got 7, but in the first game he got like virtually nothing. Probably just got the 2 for turning up, or 1, so he got 1 for 45 minutes, Mane, I mean, he did well, he got a goal in Liverpool's 3-0 win, so couldn't really ask for much more from him, and a clean sheet. Only played the 1 game, so that's really good. Ali, massively disappointing. He didn't play in the Brighton game, he only played in this game, so because of the way it works, he's not going to get substituted out as it was. Like, if he did, it would only be for Ake, who, it wouldn't make any sense, because he did still play, but I think Spurs were really, really poor this week. I'll talk about Spurs in a bit, but anyway, I think people are overrating Spurs, but we'll get into that. Son, he did alright. Ended up with an assist, but nothing special. Lukaku, I mean, he did badly in his first game, got 2. I'm sorry, Man United, I don't know how on earth you lost to West Brom. Can somebody explain this to me? How West Brom, a team that is all but relegated, it's relegated entirely apart from mathematically, and mathematically it would take a miracle for them to stay up. They're playing Man United, the second highest spending team in the league, team second place in the league, a team with no European commitments, only the FA Cup really to look forward to, and they're playing them at Old Trafford and they beat them 1-0. How is that possible? I was furious. I was just furious. I thought this was going to be great points. I'm sure a lot of people probably had Lukaku as captain, right? I mean, people always say, oh, he doesn't turn up in the big games. Jesus Christ, man. Also, incidentally, he only played 28 minutes of the Bournemouth game and he scored, so it could have been more of a disaster, I guess. Ashley Barnes got a goal. Did alright, I guess. Can't really ask for more than that. And Jamie Vardy got a goal, which is alright, I guess. I was a bit disappointed they didn't beat Southampton, but what can you do? So, from a team point of view, disappointed, I would say. Like, they had the potential to do so well, I think, but ultimately there were some freak results going on. So starting off the week, I guess, is the Chelsea v Southampton game. Now, I was so pissed off at this because Southampton were 2-0 up, and Chelsea nearly had a player sent off. They probably should have had Alonso sent off. He's been retrospectively punished, and it ended ended up 3-2 to Chelsea. Giroud being the catalyst, I guess. And just bizarre game. Obviously, by the end of it, I was ecstatic because, as a Crystal Palace fan, I don't want Southampton to win these games. I don't have anything against Southampton, but I would rather they go down than Crystal Palace, if you know what I'm saying. And you know, I mean that is the sort of game that will haunt Southampton if they go down, which I mean does quite likely they will. We'll come into that in a bit though. But that, I mean, you cannot do that. You cannot go 2-0 up and then lose 3-2, even if they got a point. There's something, but to capitulate like that is absolutely shocking. And from a morale point of view, like, I don't know where you go from there. I mean, obviously they had another game against Leicester. They drew 0-0 tonight. Probably not much going on there by the looks of it. I mean, that's a decent point, but if they'd have won that game and then got a point there, their whole world would be looking different. They'd have 4 extra points. They'd be on 33. They'd be ahead of Swansea. Swansea would be back in the relegation zone, and it'd be game on. Swansea playing Man City next, then playing Bournemouth. Like, you'd fancy Southampton there, but that's the difference. Sometimes the margin for error is so slim that you cannot get anything wrong, and it's brutal. But that is the Premier League. Chelsea, I mean, if they had lost that game, I don't know if Conte would have made it to the end of the season. As it is, he's got 2 wins in 2 games, I guess. Their push for the Champions League position, with Tottenham wobbling a little bit, is perhaps back on. 5 points in it. It's going to be difficult. Spurs have got a vastly superior goal difference. But we've seen Spurs blow things like this many times in the past, so don't bet against that. You know, 5 points, 4 games left, 12 points available. You never know. You never know. Burnley beat Leicester, as I said. So they're trying to push up for this, like, Europa League place. I think someone said that it looks as if unless Southampton win the FA Cup, Burnley will get into the Europa League if they finish in 7th, which they're 6 points clear of Leicester, and Leicester aren't exactly on a great run right now. So it's looking like they could do that, but Burnley's winning run ended by Chelsea, which is a really good result for Chelsea, by the way. I haven't seen anything with the game. I can only see that Moses scored and Long got an own goal and Barnes scored for Burnley. I don't know if Chelsea earned it or not, I couldn't honestly tell you, but that's a great win for Chelsea. That's a tough place to go and get a result. And Burnley would probably be gutted not to get something out of that, because they could have leapfrogged Arsenal, you know, gone on to 55. We'll talk about Arsenal as well. Yeah, so really good result, I guess, for Burnley. Leicester really wobbling. Like, I'm struggling to see where Leicester are going, and I don't just mean that from like a club point of view, but they've been such a like yo-yo team this season, and they could finish 8th, which you would argue is a really good position, but ultimately they could finish 8th on like less than 50 points, which is not really very good. And if they lose Mahrez at the end of the season, which it does seem really likely that's going to happen, and if they lose Vardy, which could also happen if they start to lose players like Mahrez and, you know, some of the others, then where do they go from there? I don't know, but we'll see anyway. It's not doom and gloom, I guess, to finish 8th in the Premier League, and you know, they could easily sell Mahrez and get in another player. They'll get a lot of money for him at the end of the day, so I guess we'll see from there what happens. But I guess it's better to be in their position than in like anybody down here's position, so I guess it's not all doom and gloom, but not a great result for them, I guess. Crystal Palace v Brighton. Wow, what a match. So I was listening to this on the radio, and it was just a bonkers first half, like absolutely crazy. I've said it so many times, like Wilfried Zaha is I think I said it a couple of weeks ago, maybe last week, Wilfried Zaha is the best player outside of a top 6 team in the Premier League right now. Like, 100% I believe that, and I don't know, people might say Mahrez isn't in any sort of form right now. I don't know who else there is who you could argue is in better form or just a better player outside of the top 6 right now. So yeah, but Zaha is just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. He means so much to Crystal Palace that it's terrifying to think that I'm like 90% sure that we're going to lose him at the end of the season. I mean, maybe not 90, maybe like 70. There's always hope. The 70 is because obviously he left before and it didn't work out, so there could be something in the back of his mind to say, well, you know, he has this team built around him, a club where the fans love him, where he's comfortable, you know, he's got his family settled, and he's going to be earning a lot of money. Like, he'll be on over 100 grand a week at Palace. I guess the question is, though, for him, and I totally understand this, is does he want to be at this club for the rest of his career and not win anything? Because it's unlikely that Crystal Palace will, although you never know. Like, we're not going to win the league or anything, but a cup run or something like that will get into Europe, maybe, who knows. Or does he want to take a chance, I guess, and go to a Man City or a Tottenham or someone like that and try and challenge? I mean, that's the question, you know, what do you want from your life? And I mean, it's easy for all of us to turn around and say, well, obviously you're going to go to Man City, like they're a bigger club, you're going to play in the Champions League, you're going to win things. But I mean, really look at it from a human point of view and just say, like, if you think about your position in life, like if somebody said to you, hey, you know, your standard of living isn't really going to change. Like, if you get paid 200 grand a week or like 150 grand a week, your life isn't going to change. Like, the way you live, you're living a great life anyway. So someone says to you, hey, I want you to move to the other end of the country, and instead of being, you know, this star guy at where you work now, you know, where everybody loves you, where you can turn out and you can have a bad game and no one cares, because, you know, they know that all the stuff you've done for the club, you know, and you're great and you're loved and you have this team built around you and your first name on the team sheet, to go and potentially, you know, have to battle to get into a team. Like, if he went to Man City, and I'm saying Man City because it has been linked with a £50 million move there, how does he get into that side ahead of some of those players? And I know there's rotation, but does he want to go to be playing 20 games a season, you know, or does he want to play 40 games a season? It's a difficult question to ask. Of course you can have faith in yourself. You know, when Gareth Bale went to Real Madrid, I was thinking to myself, like, you know, he was in a similar situation where, you know, things were on the up at Tottenham. He was the star man. You know, he was having everything built around him. He was playing the best football of his life. But Real Madrid, and you know, and it's an even bigger move because we're talking about moving to another country, and we're talking about being number 1 guy at Tottenham to being like the number 10 guy at Real Madrid. Another country, speak language, and he's done really well there. So it does work sometimes. But I guess it's on your sort of personality and the person you are, and the only person who can really answer that question is going to be Wilf Zaha. As a Palace fan, I would love him to stay at the club. He is such a good player, an important player, and he gets the fans, you know, up, and it's a pleasure to watch him play football. And it's great that it's like he's one of our own. You know, he came through the club's youth ranks. That we've already made a profit on him. You know, we sold him to Man United, then brought him back cheaper than we sold it, so we've made a profit on him already. But ultimately, I would not begrudge the guy a move to a bigger club at all. I would not be sitting here going, oh, what a traitor, oh, I hate him. Of course I wouldn't. People who do that are idiots. They're absolute mindless idiots. The guy's like, hey, you know, I've had some great spells at Palace, but I feel like I'm at a point in my life where I need to move on and go to a bigger club and push on and to work under someone like Pep Guardiola. I would not begrudge him that at all. I would wish him all the luck. I'd follow him a lot. Same way I follow Victor Moses still, who was obviously another Palace youth player, and Nathaniel Klein as well. I don't begrudge them their moves at all. And Moses scored today. This one actually down here, and I think he's a really good player. It's always sad when it happens though, but ultimately I've said this before. Like if we get like 50 million for him, that could potentially buy a replacement for him and a goalkeeper, which we need a goalkeeper. So you know it wouldn't improve our side because he's so important, but it would you know, it would potentially in the long run it might improve our side. So we'll see where it goes. Murray as well. Like I don't begrudge Murray his like continued success, I guess. A guy I would hate to see leave would be Milojevic, who is fast becoming like one of our, like a bit of a hero, you know. He's a really good player. It came out of nowhere last season, brought him in the transfer window, and he's been fantastic from day one. Just an excellent player. I'd hate to see him leave, but there could be some teams coming in for him next season. Some bigger teams indeed, because he is a really quality player. Anyway, Palace went 2-0 up. Brighton pegged it back. My pants were turning brown. And Palace went to 3-1, and I was like, oh, finally got the 2-goal cushion. Then Brighton pegged it back. This is all in the space of about half an hour. It was crazy. And then for the rest of the match, like we played really well in the first half. Even though we conceded 2 goals, we did play really well. Like our attacking was really fluid. The second half, it was just, we were awful, and we were lucky to get the win. I'm delighted we did. The Palace Brighton is supposedly a derby. I mean, whatever. I like Brighton. I hope they stay up with us personally. But that was a vital win for us, and now puts us 5 points ahead of Southampton after this. After today, no more games in hand for anybody. We've got Watford next. We're on an awful run, one of the worst in the league. Swansea have got Man City, so we could potentially put a bit of distance between us. We'll see what Southampton do against Bournemouth. Stoke have got Burnley, and that's not an easy game. I potentially right now think that these 3 could go down, but I also feel that Swansea could go down as well, or Huddersfield. Huddersfield might have, with that win, that last minute kind of winner, I don't know if it was last minute, but certainly very close to last minute winner, they might have just done enough. They might have done enough where they can sneak. I think after Everton they've got like all the top 3 sides or something to come. Let's have a look. Where are they? Huddersfield, they've got Everton there. Then they've got Man City. Then they've got Chelsea. And then last day of the season they got Arsenal. So they've got a real tough run in. So if they can get a win against Everton or a draw, I think they might do it. But they're in danger, make no mistake, because I don't think they get any points against Arsenal, Man City or Chelsea. So we'll see. Swansea have got Man City. Oh, sorry, hit my mic there. Man City, Chelsea, Southampton. That's a massive game, and Bournemouth, massive game. And the last game of the season, Stoke. So it's Swansea. It's in their own hands, I think. Like they're capable of beating Southampton and Stoke and Bournemouth, which would be more than enough points for them to stay up. But if they capitulate and don't do that, and I was the one saying, hey, I know this guy's come in and done a great job with them and their manager, but like at the end of the day, they're still in serious trouble, and they are. So we'll see. And Palace have got an easier run than a lot of the teams, but again, it's in our own hands, I think. Last game of the season, we've got West Brom. I know that one. You would think we win that. We got Stoke. as well. I mean, again, it's in our own hands. Leicester, who aren't in good form, and Watford, who aren't in good form. So I'm confident we're going to stay up. I'd say like 80% confident that we're going to stay up, which is more than I had a while ago. But you never know. Like we could get an injury to Zaha or someone else, and anything could happen right now. One of these teams could suddenly find some form and go on a run. West Brom beat Man United, for Christ's sake. Who knows? Who knows? I think they're down, but I mean they're 9 points away with 4 games left, unless Swansea lose every single game. Like West Brom are down, aren't they? I think all they have to do is, if they lose to Liverpool and Swansea get anything out of that game with City, then West Brom are relegated. So it's not going to be that miracle, I think. But we'll see. Okay, it's all go in the Premier League, isn't it, right now? But yeah, fair play to Brighton, fair play to Murray as well. As I said, Huddersfield got a late win against Watford. Little cut across by Sanka, Ince puts it in. Really big win for them. Watford for me are safe on 37, but that was a massive win for Huddersfield. If they were down there, they would have been on 32 or 33, sorry. With worse goal difference, they would have been 17th, and they haven't got an easy run as we've seen. So that could be the win. That could be the goal that keeps them up. Could be that one. Swansea drew with Everton, which on paper is not a terrible result. Everton are a bit up and down at the minute, though, aren't they? It's people had big hopes for Everton, didn't they, this season? Ronald Koeman, they'd spent a lot of money. They were going to try and push for this top 6, and they've had a rotten season, really. I know they're going to probably end up 9th or 8th, but it's been a rotten season for them, and they've really not had anything to cheer, and they've not looked a good side in any game they've really played. I think Rooney going back was a mistake. I think Rooney was at a point in his life where it's just he's not capable of performing in the Premier League anymore to a high enough level, and I think sad as it is, he probably should have cashed in and gone to America or China or something like that, really. Or maybe I don't think he's the sort of guy who wants to go to a foreign country with language and stuff like that, but America probably would have suited him, and yeah, I think that he's potentially going to, I always have this rule of never go back, and I feel like he shouldn't have gone back to Everton. It kind of tarnished it a little bit, and I don't know, whoever comes in as manager next season, because I firmly believe that Sam Allardyce is just going to be gone. I don't think he wants to be there, and I don't think the fans want him there, and I don't even think their chairman wants him there. So whoever's Everton manager next season has got to make some big decisions, because Rooney's not really performing, is he? Let's face it. Surely he's not going to be going to the World Cup, right? Surely. We'll see, I guess. Everton in... Liverpool. In just an absolutely routine win. Liverpool, for me, are the best team in the world in calendar year 2018. I think they have just been phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I think they are capable of beating anybody. I would not be in the least bit shocked if they won the Champions League. If they'd have had a decent start to the season, they could have been pushing Man City. They've beaten Man City 3 times this season and lost to them once. But too many draws cost them at the beginning. Too many draws. Dodgy defences. Since Virgil van Dijk's come in, they have just looked brilliant. So, yeah, I fear them next season. I firmly believe we're going to see a bit of a 2-horse title race between Liverpool and Man City next season. With, Man United, I think Spurs and Chelsea propping up the rest. Who knows what's going to happen at Arsenal? But But yeah, kind of routine, that Mane, Salah, Firmino. How many times do we see those guys on there? Salah, you just run out of words for this guy. 30 Premier League goals in the season, 40 in all competitions. I haven't seen those types of numbers since Cristiano Ronaldo. Phenomenal. City, a brilliant win against a very poor Tottenham. Yeah, just great. Man City confirmed as champions thanks to the Man United result. Well worth it. Like, it was obviously a long time coming. Like, nobody in their right mind thought that Man City weren't going to win the league. Like, of course they were, even though they lost that game to Man United and lost that game to Liverpool. You know, the two that they have lost. Of course they were going to win the league, despite them having a bit of a dip in form recently. They are a phenomenal team. It dismays me to see people calling Pep Guardiola a fraud and overrated and all this nonsense. He's built a brilliant team. He's got... yeah, listen, they have spent a lot of money. But like, if you're a multi-millionaire and you're going out to buy a car, are you going to buy some beat up old banger, or are you going to buy a Ferrari? I mean, what do people want the guy to do? They want him to join like West Brom and try and save them from relegation. Like, it's not the way he works, is it? He's like a mechanic. Okay, he's working on like a Ferrari. He's worked on supercars all his life. You know, he knows how to get the best out of them. He knows how to get that extra few horsepower out of them to just make the difference to, you know, like a Formula One mechanic. And then people are like, well, you know, you're only a good mechanic if you can go and, you know, in the Destruction Derby, and you can go and be a mechanic on those cars. Why would you want to? Like, why would you want to work on those bangers? Why wouldn't you want to work in a, you know, for McLaren in their state-of-the-art, you know, facilities on, you know, Formula One cars or something like that, or supercars? Why would you want to go and work on it just because someone's like, well, you haven't really proven yourself to do that? Like, what manager has proven themselves to do that? Like, Jurgen Klopp, has he? Pochettino, has he? I mean, yeah, he did manage Southampton and did well, but did he win the league with Southampton? Or, I mean, what do people want? Like, I genuinely believe Pep Guardiola could go to any team in this league and improve them. Possibly with the exception of Liverpool right now. But any team in this league, I firmly believe that he was manager of Man City and Mourinho was manager of Man United, and Mourinho was Man City manager. Man United would have won the league. He would save any of those teams down the bottom from relegation if he was there at the beginning of the season, but he wouldn't be able to win the league with them. Like, that's, you know, we've seen a miracle like that happen with Leicester, and it was a miracle. So, like, I don't know what people want from him. The guy is the best manager in the world right now. You know, he is getting so much out of his players, and just the thought that people, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like jealousy. I don't know. But it's ridiculous, to be fair. No one ever turned around and went, "Oh, Alex Ferguson's a fraud," because like, he's only ever done it at Man United. He didn't go anywhere else. You know, he didn't go abroad and do it. It's just a ridiculous argument. Anyway, Spurs having a bit of a late season blip. They drew 1-0 with Brighton. Great result for Brighton, by the way. Spurs are not as good as people think they are. Yes, they've got Harry Kane. Yes, they've got Dele Alli. Yes, they've got Christian Eriksen. Yes, they've got Son. There's just something about them that they're just not like... They feel a bit Arsenal-y to me. Do you know what I mean? Like, lacking a bit of leadership, lacking a bit of grit to win those types of games, to grind out a result against a Brighton, you know, or something like that when it's not going right. Too often relying on kind of Harry Kane's goals. And, you know, people never criticise Pochettino. They only ever say how great he's done. And he has done a great job at Spurs, like he has taken them on to the next level, but they, you know, are just, there's something missing there, and I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. They seem to have all the components. They've got a great keeper, great defenders, you know, really strong midfield. Obviously, probably one of the best strikers in the league, if not the best striker in the league. And yet, they never seem to win anything. It seems to me like it might be some sort of leadership or psychological problem that they have. I don't know. But they're not as good as people think they are. Newcastle beat Arsenal. Difficult to underestimate what a great result that is for Newcastle. I would say all but assures, well, 100% assures them they're going to be in the Premier League next season. There ain't no way that Southampton are making up that many points on them, is there? There's 4 games left, which is 12 points, and they are 13 points ahead, so they are safe. Sorry, no, they're 12 points ahead, so literally they need 1 point to be safe. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Like, Newcastle are a championship team. Like, they have a couple of Premier League players, like maybe Shelvey, Ritchie. That's it. And Benitez has done wonders there to get them where they are, and the fact that they're going to finish potentially mid-table, 4 wins in their last 5 games, absolutely phenomenal. Like, they really pulled that out of the bag when they needed to. I genuinely hope Newcastle get taken over by a good chairman with people who want to invest in the club, and they back Benitez, because I'd love to see what he can actually do if he manages to get in a few players. It would be interesting to see. Man United lost to West Brom. Please, somebody in the comments explain to me how this happened. I can't work it out. I'm not even going to dwell on it. Like, how? How? Man United fans out there, like, how does this happen? How are Man United so bad, and yet they're second in the fucking league? And this is what I don't understand. I've seen Man United, they don't seem like they're any good whatsoever, and yet they do things like beat Man City 3-2 after being 2-0 down. They do things like, you know, beat Liverpool 2-1, one of the form teams of the season. And yet they're so shit. I don't get it. I don't get it. I can't get it. I don't know. Mourinho, I guess. He is something else, isn't he? West Ham won, Stoke won. I mean, Stoke needed to win. That was a late Andy Carroll goal after Peter Crouch scored. And Stoke needed a win. They needed a win, and they didn't get it. That was a winnable game for them. Would have put them on 31. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough for them. I can't see them doing it. I just don't think they've got the players. Mark Hughes would be the first manager to technically take 2 teams down, as in he's managed 2 of the teams who are going down in Stoke and Southampton, potentially. It's a bit sad. I don't think Mark Hughes is a bad manager. I just don't think he's a good manager. I think he's like a championship level manager. I don't think he's like as bad as some managers, but I don't think he's capable of the Premier League anymore. I'd be surprised if he gets another Premier League job. But there we go, you never know. Man United beat Bournemouth, fairly routine, 2-0. I don't get Man United. Bournemouth on a tough run, but 38 points is enough for them to stay up. They got Southampton next. Any point out of that and they're up. Another season in the Premier League. Hard to underestimate that. I had tipped them to go down because I felt like they were running out of luck. But Eddie Howe, very, very good manager. You know, everyone's talking about Sean Dyche and Rafa and, you know, Chris Hughton and players and, you know, Wagner at Huddersfield, but Eddie Howe every season does a thing, and he actually, for me, out of all the managers underneath the top 6, would be the best manager to translate into a top 6 team, because he plays expansive football and they believe in attacking. So I don't think he will get a chance. in the top 6, unless he does something spectacular with Bournemouth, like manages to push them into, you know, around that area. But like, he's a good manager. He's a very good manager. It could also be that it's just one of those situations where right man, right time. So he's a Bournemouth man through and through, and he knows the club, and he's just getting the most out of those players. And you know, if he was going to a bigger club with bigger players and having to manage that side of things, you know, the bigger budgets, would he be able to do it? I don't know. I hope he gets a chance, personally. Chelsea beat Burnley 2-1. Again, good result. And Leicester drew 0-0 Southampton. So that takes us up to all the results. Next games we've got West Brom Liverpool. I'd expect a Liverpool win there, so I'm going to probably put in some Liverpool players. Although I don't know when the next Champions League game is. If that's midweek, then I think Liverpool might well rest their entire team, so I actually wouldn't do that. But we'll see. So if they've got like a Tuesday, Wednesday Champions League game, I don't think they're playing a strong team in that game whatsoever. Like, they're gonna be in this area next season. I think if they get leapfrogged by Tottenham and win the Champions League, I don't think they're gonna give a shit. So we'll see. Palace v Watford. Hopefully Palace can get a result there. At least a draw would be good. I think we're probably going to need at least another 4 points to be safe. We've got games we can win, so no excuses. Even if we lose that, we still got games we can win, but it would be good to, if we get 3 points there, then I will breathe a sigh of relief. And let's not underestimate the fact that we lost like our first 7 or 8 games. It's not a bad comeback. Arsenal West Ham. That's a tough one. Arsenal are just shocking at the minute. I don't even know what's going on there. Maybe they're going to win the Europa League. Does anyone really think that's going to happen? I don't know. Stoke Burnley. Massive match for Stoke. If they don't win that, they're down, in my opinion. But then again, to be fair, I don't see Swansea getting a result against City, so we'll see. Everton, Newcastle, bit of a dead rubber, but I guess Newcastle want to win to go above Everton. That would, you know, for them to get that top 9, that's good money involved there as well. So we'll see. So not a full Premier League fixture list, but we got a weird week that week. Then I don't even know what's going on anymore. But yeah, some interesting games anyway. So I'll probably have to change my squad around, I guess, once more. But anyway, yeah, we've got an interesting season. Well done to Man City, totally deserved. With them, Spurs, by the way, sorry, not Spurs. Wolves have been promoted to the Premier League, so we know Wolves are going to be in the Premier League next season. They've done very well. They've got a bit of a like, a lot of people are focusing on their chairman's relationship with the agent Mendes, who's like Ronaldo's agent, and the fact that they've signed someone like Neves for 16 million in the Championship. That's a lot of money for a Championship club. When technically he's a Premier League player without a doubt, like he's very, very talented. And whether or not that kind of relationship is appropriate or not, and all this type of stuff, like people are kind of focusing on that. So I would say, like, I think they've done very well. It's a very tough division, to win the Championship. They haven't won it yet, but I would expect them to. I think it's just that they've got automatic promotion, definitely. It's a very tough division to win. To get promoted from, very, very difficult. There's a lot of teams there spending money and with good backing. And if, you know, I think they're going to stay up in the Premier League because I think they're going to buy some players, and I think with that connection with Mendes, they're going to be able to buy players, because that's one of the big issues Premier League clubs have when they come up, is that they just can't attract the players because nobody knows who they are. So yeah, I think they'll be able to attract those players. I think they'll stay up, and we'll see where they go from there. Really, they've obviously very ambitious You know, they've got like 2 promotions in the last few years, so and going to be interesting. I remember Wolves back in the day when they had like Steve Bull up front and like Don Goodman and a young Robbie Keane. And I always liked them just because they played in like those gold shirts, you know, and it just was a kit colour you never really saw anybody else play. So I think it's great that they're going to be there, and like that area of England, like around the sort of like the Midlands and like the Birmingham area. I know Wolverhampton is not Birmingham, but you know what I'm saying. That kind of area, like, is a very high populated area of the UK, and they don't have Premier League representation after next season because West Brom are going down because they're also from that area, and Birmingham City are just a mess. So it's good that that area will have a Premier League team next season. I guess kind of a shame that they're not going to have like a derby match against like a West Brom or Birmingham, something like that, but yeah, it's good. I think, like, if my geography's correct, like places like Burnley and Stoke are not that far away from them, so maybe that's classed as a, I don't know, Watford's not even that far away from Birmingham really, technically. I don't think that's a derby though. But yeah, so we're definitely going to see them next season, which will be very interesting. I think Neves might be in a lot of people's fantasy football team. We'll see. I'll be keeping an eye on him for sure. You never know, maybe a big club will come in and buy him. Who knows? But yeah, I guess till next time, guys. Thanks for watching. As always, it's been my pleasure. I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.